Mariam Wahba is an analyst at the Foundation for the Defence of Democracies, and she's written a piece on the Brotherhood's media empire for the Free Press, and she joins us now to talk more about that. Good to see you, Mariam. Thank you for joining us on the programme. And for those who don't know, first up, what is the Muslim Brotherhood and how does it relate to Hamas, Qatar and Turkey?
Well, it's good to be with you today, Laura. The Muslim Brotherhood is a Sunni Islamist organization, transnational organization, in fact, that began in the late 1920s in Egypt by an Egyptian schoolteacher who sought to inject Islam and Islamist ideology into all facets of public and private life. And as the years went on, we're now almost a century after the founding of the Muslim Brotherhood, the organization has evolved and has taken on more violent, more jihadi tendencies. Now, when it comes to understanding what its role and what its connection is to Qatar and Turkey in particular, there's two ways to understand this. But first, I'll start up by saying that Hamas is actually a branch of the Muslim Brotherhood. It is the Palestinian, the Gazan branch of the Muslim Brotherhood. And to our understanding, Qatar is a major funder, major backer, both politically, financially, and ideologically of the Muslim Brotherhood, and so is Turkey. They, of course, do it in different ways and have different means of supporting the ideology and supporting the logistical details behind this organization, but they can all be understood as supporters, backers, and part of this larger transnational organization that is the Muslim Brotherhood.
And the Muslim Brotherhood as an organisation is banned, it's outlawed, isn't it, in numerous Arab countries, most famously Egypt, of course. Still, though, their message, which is one of extremism, of jihad, of violence, is still managing to get through. How is that?
Absolutely. And it's notable, like you stated, that in its birthplace, Egypt, the Muslim Brotherhood is banned and has been for more than a decade now. And you ask a very interesting question. How is it, even though that they are banned and outlawed, the Muslim Brotherhood is able to reach millions of Arabs and millions of Muslims across the Middle East and beyond every single day? And the answer to that is they have learned and evolved through centuries, through periods of suppression throughout the decades since they've been a functional organization, how to act, how to function even when they are banned and ostracized. There's been decades of periods of repression by the Egyptian state, and the Muslim Brotherhood has adapted and learned how to operate elsewhere, yet continue to penetrate and infiltrate certain societies and certain populations.
The US Secretary of State Marco Rubio said back in August that he was looking into designating the Muslim Brotherhood as a terrorist group. Do you think that's likely to happen?
Look, this is the crux of the issue, right? The Trump administration has signaled that it has a vested interest in designating the Muslim Brotherhood, and it's trying to figure out exactly how to do this. And this isn't the first time that the Trump administration has attempted to designate the Brotherhood. We know during President Trump's first term, there was momentum behind designating the Muslim Brotherhood. But because the organization is so nebulous, they have no headquarters, no specific leader, and chapters operate autonomously, it becomes really hard to designate an organization like that has no nucleus, that does not announce itself in the way other organizations do. What's different about this time is that the administration has also signaled that it has a better understanding of the Muslim Brotherhood. It has a better understanding of its branches, its offshoots, which ones meet the criteria for designations and which ones don't. So to answer your question more succinctly, I think we do have a high probability that the Muslim Brotherhood does get designated as a foreign terrorist organization under the Trump administration this time around.
And Mariam, the headline of your excellent piece ends with what to do about this. How can we counter this? So how can the world counter this very sophisticated and powerful messaging from the Muslim Brotherhood?
Absolutely. This is kind of a two-parter question. I think when it comes to figuring out how to repel the Muslim Brotherhood operations and stop them from expanding across the Middle East and beyond, is look to our Arab partners who have done so successfully. Let's look at Egypt. Let's look at the UAE. Let's look at the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. How has their bans been effective in ensuring that the Muslim Brotherhood ideology and message does not seep through its public and private sectors? So that's firstly, we have to look at designating the organizational arms of the Brotherhood. Now, my second piece, what it tries to address is even places where the Muslim Brotherhood is banned, its message is still pervasive and still manages to reach millions of phones every day. And that is what I advocate for in my article, is we have to look at the way that the messaging gets to millions of people, and that is the media outlets. What podcasts, what TV satellite channels, what digital shows, what X accounts, what YouTube accounts are parroting Muslim Brotherhood ideology and doctrine without identifying themselves as such? And that is the place to start here.